Okay, we're going to continue with song 283. So we just reviewed Great Is Thy Faithfulness. We did the 3-beat pattern. Then we chanted the words in the 3-beat pattern for Great Is Thy Faithfulness. And then we did the music without the click. And then you just took the quiz of Great Is Thy Faithfulness without the click. So we have finished up with the 3-beat pattern. So good job on that. And, or actually, no, we got one more song, Amazing Grace. So this is the one, we went over it last time, it's the last song for the 3-beat pattern. This is the song that has the pickup. So that means that you actually start leading and congregation starts singing on count 3, Maze. And then you have the emphasis on, as always in every song, emphasis on the first syllable in each measure. So let's go to that then, and we're going to we already practiced the 3-beat pattern, so let's go right to chanting the Amazing Grace. So I'll give you 2 counts. It'll be 1, 2, and then we'll start chanting together Amaze. All right, here we go. Ready, go. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. And the end. Okay. Next is our music. So this is the one with the click. So here's Amazing Grace. Let's see. Use it backwards. They're backwards for some reason on the track. 3, ready, go. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. And the end. Okay, we're gonna, just for review, let's go through it one more time. So we've got the pickup, emphasis always on the first syllable. Ready, go. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. we're going to try the same thing without the click. So, Amazing Grace, just the regular music. Grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. All right, and right there. Okay, let's talk about what's going on as far as with your hands, just a way of review. So ideally, you feel motion somewhere in here that you're feeling these points. So if you're doing this kind of stuff, it's like there's a repetition and a pattern there that's great, but people aren't sure like where's the beat, and that's what you're trying to show. So having some kind of a point to it will help. Doesn't have to be a big point, but some kind of a help. Otherwise, you end up with this kind of thing. And so there's motion around, but like where exactly is that beat? Nobody's really sure. So you want some kind of a motion with your hands where you're feeling that in your finger. You're feeling that with your fingertips. And then again, think of your arm sort of like the fishing pole. You want more motion out here and less as you go further up the fishing pole of your arm. So you want a little more motion here, a little less in the wrist, some in the arm, but not too much, and then just enough, to kind of help up here. So very little up here. So I think that will help. And then the other thing is to just think about your hands. We went over this before. This looks kind of scary. So you want your hands together, kind of like you're in mittens, where you can still move your fingers, but generally pretty close together. And then the other thing too is, again, this always, to me, this says soft. And so if you lead the whole thing like this, it really looks like you're doing soft, 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 the whole thing. And then what do you do if you need to get softer? Then you're kind of stuck. So generally, I think it's better to have your hands here. And it's fine to turn them over a little bit, bring them back out, and this sort of thing. But if your arms are generally here, now you can turn them up for helping the volume come up, and then you could also turn them down for softer and softer. So generally, just some things to think about. So let's try the 3-beat pattern again, just so you can concentrate on thinking about what your hands are doing here. And so you want to feel a point somewhere with your fingers, and then just try to keep the hands this way, like this, as opposed to this or this. All right, here we go. We're going to go back with the 3-beat pattern again. 1, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. Down, out, up, down, out, down, out, up. Yep, and I'll go ahead and roll. Yep. Down, out, up. Yep, and feel a good pattern there. Good. It's looking good. And nice. And yep, and relax here. And so I didn't see any problems with this, but just to mention it again, that generally you want your arm here with basically a right angle, and that way if you need to, you can still bring it in, and then you can also bring your arms out. But if your arm's already out, you're stuck. So generally, and it's exhausting to do this, so generally you kind of want this at a right angle here, and then the same thing if you're looking straight down, you want an approximate right angle here. So if you're starting like this, so that's going to make it tough. Okay, let us go back to the 4-beat pattern. Ooh, we are introducing the 4-beat pattern here. It's on page 4 in your book. And this pattern, the one in your book, is from your perspective, if you were looking at the pattern that your hand was tracing with the right, and this would work for the right hand. So here's what we've got. We've got down, and of course this is beat number 1. And then we've got in over here. We've got out, which is number 3, and then we have the up, which is beat number 4. So it's the same thing as the 3-beat pattern, except we have an inward beat as well. So let's talk about what that means. What gets emphasized in every pattern? Which one gets the most emphasis? Okay, downbeat always gets the most emphasis, and that's your strongest syllable. Now, 4-beat pattern is a little bit interesting because there's a secondary emphasis. There's no secondary emphasis on a 3-beat pattern. There's no secondary emphasis really in a 2-beat pattern, but there is on a 4-beat pattern. So which one is it? Down always gets the most emphasis, but then the secondary emphasis is over here on out. So you've got down, in, out, up. So the out gets a slight emphasis. Let me write it here. So slight emphasis. Then this gets the most emphasis here. So you'll need to be able to reproduce the chart on the 4-beat pattern when at some point for one of the written quizzes. And so you definitely want to have that memorized, know the direction words and the beat numbers. All right, let's try. Go ahead. We're going to try to do the 4-beat pattern. So just a demonstration here. It's going to be down, in, out, up, down, in. Go ahead and join me here. Up, down, in, out, 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 up, down, in. Let's switch to numbers now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, and go ahead and rest. Okay, nice job. So of all of the patterns that you're going to use, the 4-beat gets used the most, and it's significant. It's a definitely the most used of all your patterns. So you definitely want to be comfortable with this one. If you go to page 5, you can see, let's see, nope, not page 5. Let's go to our first 4-beat song. And so your homework is going to be to fill out the counting numbers here. It's number 300 in the little songbook. It's right under Amazing Grace. So number 300, When I Survey the Wondrous Cross. Now let's take a look at this. Time signature. We'll get started on putting in some counting beats here. The time signature is 4/4. So how many beats are in a measure in 4/4?
4.
Okay, 4 is correct. We have 4 beats. Oh, you are 4 beats in a measure. And the bottom number means that we are counting by what?
Quarter notes.
Quarter notes. Yes, so we have quarter notes. 4 quarter notes per measure. So here's our first line here on our song. And musically, this is actually the simplest one. Okay, some of you are already working ahead, that's fine. So what do we have for counting over here? Here we have a half note. When, the syllable when gets what for counting?
1, 2.
Okay, 1 and 2 go here. It gets 1 and 2 because that's a half note. Okay, and then syllable I gets what? Correct, 3 and only 3. And what about sir over here? It's going to get 4. Why are we counting up to 4? 4 counts in a measure. It's always going to be 4 counts, unless there's a pickup, which is then just a split measure. But this song does not have any of those. Okay, what do we have over here? Ve. 1 and 2 again, and you see a pattern here. What about the word the?
3 and 4.
Okay, yep, so it gets 3 and 4. Here we have same word, but it gets 2 notes. So it's the, and the second one is here. Okay, so musically, this is the simplest of all the songs. And very simple rhythms. It actually is a little bit harder to feel the pulse in the music because it's slow. So that's kind of surprising that it's simpler, but also harder to feel the pulse. So let's go here to this next song. And there should be 4 beats. No, oh, this is the 4-beat pattern here. Yeah, let's go ahead and try reviewing the 4-beat pattern with this musical pattern here. Okay? 1, 2, 3. Down, in, out, up. 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 Down, in. Okay, very good. Let's go to next one, which should be 1 inch survey, 1 inch cross. Oh, this is it. Okay, this one is, instead of a regular introduction, yeah, it's got 4 clicks. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. always emphasize your first syllable. I sacrifice them to his blood. Okay, so that one will be a little bit. So fortunately, we'll be able to work on that a little bit while you're getting ready for Amazing Grace. So next quiz on the next class is going to be Amazing Grace with the click. Then 1 week from today is Amazing Grace again without the click. And then during that time, we'll also continue working on When I Survey the Wondrous Cross. Okay, that's it for today's class.